All right, so I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Tracy, Smith,
Here.
Stricker, Clohiel,
Here.
Sagar,
Here.
Erickson, Radcliffe,
Here.
Leone.
Here. All right, we have nobody online, so we'll go past that. Everyone have a chance to look at the minutes? Can I get a motion? We have a motion from Brian. Second. Second from Larry. All in favor?
Aye.
Looks like we have no public comments. So new business. Mark, you want to go ahead?
Sure. With the resolution first? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Good motion.
What's that?
You need a motion.
Motion.
Oh, sorry. I need a motion on the resolution to appoint and vote on a new secretary of the McHenry County Enterprise Zone.
I don't know if much context needs to be provided, but that's just voting Jessica into the secretary position.
I'll make a motion that we're gonna elect a new secretary, and we can discuss it, I guess is what we're looking for.
All right.
I'll second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
The second is Jessica gonna be the new secretary, is that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay, I nominate Jessica.
That's right.
I apologize, I forget her last name.
Erickson.
Erickson to be the secretary.
All right. Any other nominations? No? All right. Should we do a roll call on this one? No? I'm looking over at Brian for a little help here.
Not necessary.
Okay. So all in favor of Jessica becoming the secretary? Aye. Anyone opposed? No. All right. Administrative services payments?
Don't you have to make a motion?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Uh,
I haven't had enough coffee yet.
It's
I apologize.
different everywhere too.
Yeah.
How they do it, so.
So, all right, motion to approve the administrative service payments.
Make a motion.
All right, got a motion, Brian seconds. All right, discussion.
So the administrative service payments for the period ending September 6th, 2024, and then March 6th, 2025, which is the prior period, have been submitted to the chairman. The total for those payments is $60,925. That would be $30,462.50 a piece. So just to clarify, the prior period was never paid. An invoice was sent on March 7th of 2024, but it wasn't paid, and so both invoices are being submitted now. I'm happy to answer any questions. I will give a financial update later in the meeting, but if you have any questions related to the financial position or the invoices for the administrative services, I'm happy to answer them now.
Yeah, but how come the first invoice wasn't paid, or just never got invoiced because of the change of people and stuff, or?
Correct, and at that, through that time period, there weren't sufficient funds to pay it.
Okay.
It was submitted to, at that time, Exesion, who is the finance manager for the enterprise zone, and she emailed us as the administrator back and said, you have to wait on this. But now the zone's in a position to pay.
Any other?
We don't have much choice, do we?
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Roll call?
Clohiel,
Yes.
Sagar,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Leone.
Yes. All right. On to financial reporting.
Okay, so pretty positive, starting with the balance sheet. You'll see in the current assets, there's just under $37,000. You'll also see in both accounts receivable and undeposited funds that those contain the partner payments for Harvard and Woodstock, which were received or deposited after the period ending September 30th, so they won't show up in the current assets section of the balance sheet. But as of today, the current balance of the bank account should be about $76,711.17. On the income side, all of the partner contributions to the enterprise zone for this fiscal year have been received and deposited. I explained how that shows up on the balance sheet. From the expense side, the only expenses that cleared the account since our last meeting was the final payment for the outstanding balance to Exezion, former financial manager. And so from a budgetary perspective, if you look at the profit and loss budget versus actual, that kind of brings us current with all outstanding payments, or brings the enterprise zone current with all outstanding payments. So from the budget perspective, we're positioned to come in over budget on income and under budget on all the expense categories, with the exception of the way that the contractual services is tracked on the budget, because that was split out between months rather than a biannual payment. So, to kind of simplify that, we've already exceeded the budget amount for project fees for the fiscal year, and expenses are going to be pretty much zero. One of the larger expenses was going to be the meeting expense for the annual enterprise zone update. That fell on the same, which we would have had to have traveled to Southern Illinois for, and that fell on a day that we had another event, so we were unable to go. So we're going to save some dollars to that end. And it is the update from that was about adding a municipality to the zone, which is something we're familiar with already. So don't feel too bad. But budget's looking good. Finance is looking good after the administrative services payment clears. You should be looking at a balance of about $15,786 going forward. Any questions?
Any questions? No? All right. All right, you're gonna have to help me out here. Should we motion to accept the financials? All right. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Nick motions. Do I have a second? Brian seconds. All right. Roll call?
Smith,
Yes.
Koziel,
Yes.
Sauger,
Yes.
Radcliffe,
Yes.
Leoni.
Yes. Thanks. All right, partner reports. Who wants to go first? Woodstock?
I don't have anything specific to report tonight. A lot of good things going on. You probably have seen some of the work along Route 47 in terms of some of the advancements. Chase Bank is moving from the downtown square area out onto Route 47. So that construction you see of that old LaSalle Bank right there is now an expanded Chase presence. And we're happy about that, and they're happy about that because parking and access from the square with their growth has created some challenges for them, so they're happy to be moving out there. Also, Trio is moving out there in terms of a large kind of gas station, convenience store development. I'll say this in this room alone, but one of the caveats about their developments is that they have a liquor license associated with that store, and well, I would not have supported that. My colleague does, and so that's going to be there, and that should be a nice addition to the Route 47 corridor at that particular point. Other things that are moving forward, one, Riverside, of course, is moving forward, as everybody knows, and we've been getting quite a few calls from people, even from the county level. People are calling about what's going on out there with the trees being coming down and that type of thing, but that's a pretty large development out there just south of the hospital complex. The other thing that is moving forward is the area that is really just east of where the old Arminetti's Liquor was. There's supposed to be a new development coming in there. We'll see whether that comes to fruition or not. That's a retail. And I guess the only other thing I would say is that the bad news right now is that the area just north of the square that was planned for kind of a senior living type of thing is maybe taking a bit of a nosedive, and we're concerned about that, but we are trying to elevate some other interest in that area. So that's kind of where we are at the moment.
Thank you, Brian. Nick?
Right now, just working on our, a lot of DCO grant initiatives. We have our well that is continuing to be dug. We have our water treatment plant that's beginning to be constructed. Just looking for other funding opportunities, continue on our efforts to bring utility extension down to the interchange. As we all know, I think that's going to be an economic engine for the enterprise zone and for the county as well. Other than that, just a lot of, we still have houses being built. I think they're halfway done with their 95 home development. We have tons of townhomes that are being constructed. They should be finished up by the fall or winter or early spring. So kind of just working through some of those little things. And I don't know if the mayor has any other things he wants to update, but it's kind of what we got going on right now.
For Harvard, we've got a lot of irons in the fire right now. Our housing is continuing. Starbucks broke ground, so that's coming along. Dunkin' Donuts, we hope to be finished here in the next 3 to 4 weeks. I think the joke is that they'll be open 2024 instead of giving any specific date right now.
Who's the developer for that?
I think so. Yeah. Other than that, we've been entertaining some potential like manufacturing. One from Colorado, another one a dispensary coming in. It'll be our first, and yeah, and just still trying to spur more housing. That's all I've got. Anything from MCEDC?
No. We're glad to hear that that's all happening, and we are positioned to help, and please feel free to reach out to us if there's a project that we can take some of the lift off of.
Then Larry, you got anything?
No.
I want to make sure not to leave you out.
No, I spoke up.
All right. Pete, you got anything?
No, sir.
Boy, this is too quick a meeting. All right, administrative report.
All right, as far as project updates, obviously we met not long ago, so there hasn't been too much. The only project we've dealt with anything is we got another subcontractor for the DeLong car wash project. Squared away as they needed a exemption certificate of their own. That was not communicated to them through the people that hired them, so we handled that and they're good to go now. So that is the only part as far as project updates. Website update, Mark and I met with Karen just this week. We are planning to do a platform switch on what is being used to support the website. That, she said, will be done first or second week of November. Other than that, she is currently updating and removing things from the current site that are either duplicates and or are just either worded in a weird way or potentially might seem misleading. And what I mean by that is at one point we had been sent by a couple people that the wrong form had been in the wrong place. That's been remedied, and the new form is up, and it's actually working pretty well for everybody that's used it already. So yeah, we're expecting Karen's work to be done first or second week of November, and the new platform should help. And she's also looking at advanced user interfaces, see if we can have something that pops a little bit more off the web page. So Anything you want to add to that, or?
I would term it, there were some legacy documents on the
Yeah, great.
webpage that we had to submit updates for. So it's much more efficient.
Yeah. Partner marketing material, as you will see up on the screens, and you all should have a copy of this. We have marketing materials for each municipality within the enterprise zone. It is just a basic fact sheet explaining to potential end users exactly what what they can expect if they invest in the enterprise zone. It's a very difficult thing, it seems, for people who are starting these projects to get a complete grip on. They'll hear something, or they'll read something, or they'll mix up this with opportunity zones. There's something else that's in the works for that as well. It's gonna, kind of explain, compare and contrast what an opportunity zone is versus what the enterprise zone is. But this is essentially just to educate the public, raise awareness as to exactly what it is that the benefits are in a clear, concise, simple way. And then we're looking at having these as printouts and providing these to you guys. You can be posted on wherever. If you have any sort of maps or welcome center type material, as you always find when you're traveling, I feel like this would be a good thing to have at City Hall or wherever you may happen to be.
Yep. And for the virtual versions, we'll happily include hyperlinks and things that can drive people to your website or our website or what have you. One thing I want to be clear about with this is that we're not attempting to replace the marketing efforts of the municipalities, but we want to offer something that is consistent and contiguous in reference to the enterprise zone, so that we can offer information in a formulaic way, right? And so you only see Harvard up on the screen there, but there's one for Woodstock, Harvard, and and Marengo, and the information is all taken from the IGA. If there's something that you want represented differently, we are wide open to feedback, happy to adjust this to your marketing department's pleasure or what have you, but we thought it would be a good effort to, again, get contiguous marketing across the zone.
Any questions or comments on that?
I like them.
Yeah, I think it's really well done. It's gonna be super helpful.
Nice.
So if you wouldn't mind taking those back with you, and we'll get Woodstock theirs and go over it with a fine tooth comb. Make sure that everything is accurate, and then we'll go ahead and get some printed for you and provide you with the digital files so that you can upload it to your website, if you so choose.
Is there some way that, I'm just thinking maybe it ought to say McHenry County Enterprise Zone across the top somewhere, other than the webpage, even though it's for Harvard or
It
Woodstock,
does
whatever.
show it in the bottom right corner,
Okay.
but we can certainly put McHenry County Enterprise Zone in Harvard up
Well,
there.
do people get the wrong idea if they think it's only Harvard if they look at this sheet?
Sure.
That's not so bad.
That's just a thought.
I mean, there is kind of we want the municipalities to be able to retain their own branding and things like that within the zone, right? Because it is something that you can slide across the table to a potential company that wants to expand, and then that way this is Harvard's portion of the program. But we can certainly put McHenry County Enterprise Zone on the top as well.
Could be something as simple as in the first paragraphs on each one of them, it says McHenry County Enterprise Zone. Maybe that phrase could just be slightly larger font and bold. Maybe that would kind of do, because that's right there.
Might do the same thing, yeah. Just,
Yeah.
Good, thanks.
And obviously, let's say you want to brand it for Harvard, if that's who's giving out the sheet, but
Right, and their logo's there.
if they look at it and Harvard don't work, they need to know that there's other options.
So with those improvements already, it does look nice. So how soon do you want any corrections or improvements back?
Sooner you get them to us, the sooner we can get it back to you. So I'm not going to put a tight timeline on there. This doesn't have any there's not a necessary urgency to it or anything like that, but the sooner you sign off on it, the sooner we can develop the material for you.
Is there a generic one just for the enterprise zone, if somebody contacts you guys?
We've used the website in that regard to this point, but yeah, I think at some point, if we're gonna do all the municipalities, then we might as well have just a county overview one as well. Or it could also, the other idea is just to have that be the flip side of everybody's. So, front and back.
Yeah, just some that where if they come in, they're not headed towards one community or the other at the time.
Sure.
But you got something you're gonna give them.
It is included in our.
And it's right in the webpage, right? So.
Yeah, and it is also included in our sell sheet of economic incentives available at the federal, state, and local levels, which is kind of a bigger book of here's an attraction tool. So.
Okay.
All right, and then we can go on to project partner tracking. All right, so we spoke last time about how we wanted to have more engagement as far as the actual process of opening these projects and whatnot. And that was mostly based on the permit dates. So, a lot of that was, permit date gets, decided, and then, if we don't have a certain update until the next meeting, it's kind of gonna slow us down. So what we've done is we've put together two things. One is this sheet, which not only has, everyone's contact information on it for, the relevant municipality. We've added the abatement schedules for everybody as well. This sheet is going to be available and it's going to be filled out, with every project that opens. Further down in the columns, we'll get to the point where, we've listed out multiple subcontractor spots and whether or not they've gotten their BMEC forms. So, we'll have that and then confirmation of the certificates, and that'll be updated, as it's being updated with the state of Illinois. This is going to be available to everybody through Microsoft Teams as we're going to create channels for each municipality. We currently have folders. We're going to invite everybody to their individual channel for their municipality, and then from there you'll have access to this, and we'll be able to, have easier updates than going back and forth in an email or say we got something done and put it in the system and head it off to an event, and you guys are looking for an answer on where something is. You'll be able to open this up and you see what kind of progress has been made. So.
Questions, comments, concerns?
I think it would be super helpful. I'm all about being organized, so.
Yeah. And you'll have your individual.
Right.
So this won't, Maringos won't be available to Woodstock, and Woodstock won't be available to Harvard, and so on and so forth. So.
Because we're going to seal things.
That's right. We don't want to inspire any.
Sounds like Brian, I just want to write like this. All right, thank you. Well, with that, folks, any last comments? Anybody want to adjourn, or you want to drag the meeting on?
Peter, I'm sure he has got a diatribe he wants to.
So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right.